Captain Susie is the first segment of the 17th episode of the first season of the Rugrats reboot, and I really didn't care for this episode. With the classic series, I tend not to care about the imaginative play, but in the reboot, I feel like the imaginative play episodes are often quite fun, but that's not the case with this one, and that's largely because it just wasn't very nice to look at. It had a lot of dull, dark colours, and it wasn't very vibrant or vivid, and I just wasn't that bothered. The adults, including Grandpa, are doing yoga in the park, and we have a little bit of a narrative focusing on Grandpa's crush he has on Celeste. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't take up too much time. I'm not that bothered about it, but it's absolutely fine. The main narrative focuses on the babies playing a game in outer space, and Susie is, of course, the captain, and Susie is seen as this fearless leader, but then she comes up against the space worm, and she has to admit that actually she is scared. Up until this point, when they'd been on this mission to Cheesy Planet, she'd been brave. But there was something that made her scared, and she has to confess it's the space worm. And we have a lovely speech. Well, I say a speech, it's a couple of lines from Chuckie, who tells her that he's an expert in being scared, and he knows that you have to face your fear to overcome it. And there's a little bit of a message there, of course, about being brave, and it works quite well. And I like the fact that it's Susie as well, because Susie, certainly in the classic series, I know it's a different character as such, different age, different dynamics between Susie and the babies, but when I think of Susie as being Susie from the classic series, where she was always quite brave and tough and fearless, and that's still how I see her. So to show that character being scared of something, I think, is a very worthwhile thing with a good message. So I can't fault the actual message in the episode, and it's very creative with Cheesy Planet and the space worm and things. And it's nice to have some other babies as well. It's not just the main characters. We have some other babies who are playing at the park at the same time. So that was quite nice. But visually, I just didn't find it that appealing. And for me, the visuals are one of the things that makes Rugrats really fun to watch, because it's often very vibrant and fun and really cute. But visually, it was just a bit of a disappointment. So a decent narrative, a nice message, but not the best experience.